keep on coming for Tiffany Henyard, the controversial Thornton Township supervisor. Special board meeting today fails to produce a quorum.
And WGN's Jenna Barnes is live in South Holland with the latest tonight. Jenna.
Ray and Micah, Supervisor Tiffany Henyard says Thornton Township is facing a crisis because the board hasn't voted to pay for its insurance. She says the township could shut down, but she isn't saying when exactly that could happen or what services would be impacted. Instead, she's focusing on the caucus vote this week that's kicking her off the ballot.
It's election rigging at its finest.
Thornton Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard is defiant 2 days after a rare caucus kept her off the ballot for April's township election. State Senator and Township Democratic Party committeeman Napoleon Harris called the caucus and installed himself at the top of the ticket, winning with a simple and loud voice vote. Henyard alleges her supporters were kept outside even after doors were scheduled to open, while Harris filled the room with his own supporters from an event held in the same space before the caucus. His attorney insists the law was followed.
I would not be bullied. I would not let people do voter suppression. That was the biggest voter suppression I've ever seen. And we talk about history, right? Every time we talk about history, we're talking about people that fought for the right to vote. But yet, they didn't have the right to vote this time. Why? Why is that? Why mute the votes?
Henyard spoke after another special board meeting where two opposing trustees didn't show up. That's become typical. It means no quorum and no vote, this time to pay for the township's insurance. Henyard's team says the policy expired this week, leaving the township in dire circumstances.
And if the lawyers advise me come tomorrow, we will be shutting down. So that's what I'm waiting on. I'm waiting on them to advise us of our next steps because they said no insurance, we cannot operate.
When we followed up asking when the township could potentially shut down and what that means exactly, she didn't answer our question.
I told you before we stood here that it would strictly be about the caucus.
In Dalton, where Henyard is mayor, two candidates who want to run against her are accusing her of similar maneuvering, challenging their candidacy to prevent competition.
Mayor Tiffany Henyard is doing an act against democracy and in favor of hypocrisy.
So I want the people in the village of Dalton to know that they do have a choice.
Henyard says she'll take that caucus vote to court, and she's encouraging her supporters to attend an event this weekend, in her words, to fight back against corruption. We're live in South Holland. Jenna Barnes, WGN News.